Welcome to Faces of Czech Music, Radio Prague International and Czech Center's podcast. The Czech music is not only Smetana or Janáček, there are new names and new faces. I am Petr Dudek and my guest today is Tomáš Kačo, the pianist and composer who came all the way from Los Angeles. Welcome to the studio, Tomáš, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Most of our guests are classical musicians. What is your attitude to classical music?
Oh, I love classical music. Classical music is one of my biggest love all over the world, I would say, all over in all these different aspects in my life. Classical music has very special place. It's comfort, and it's a huge inspiration for me.
Do you still play classical pieces?
Yes, I still practice classical music. I still play classical pieces, but I don't perform with them. I just play it for myself.
What are your favorites?
Right now, I'm into Bach.
Why?
I don't know, just I guess older I'm getting, and it's just I'm discovering in Bach music more and more depth.
Let's return to the beginning. You were born to quite a big family, 12 brothers and sisters, am I right?
Yes, so it's seven girls and 5 boys.
But the flat you lived in on the outskirts of Nový Jičín was not very big. 2 bedrooms, but you had a piano or a keyboard in it?
Yes, so at first we had a little upright piano, but it was kind of half broken condition, pretty bad condition. But later on, when we had more kids around, so we had to get rid of the piano because it was quite big, even though it was just upright piano. So after that, then I had just like 5-octave keyboard.
Did anybody play the piano or the keyboard? Your parents?
No, nobody ever played it. My dad learned from his dad, from my grandpa, because my grandpa used to play accordion. But not really professionally, not really like he never did it for a living or something. Only when some family parties occurred or something, he just picked up the accordion and started to play. So he taught my dad, I guess, a couple chords, and my dad remembered 3 or 4 chords which he taught me.
Wasn't that a bit of a sacrifice? I mean, if I were a father, and I am a father, but I only have 3 children, but I can imagine that 12, that's a lot. If I were a father of a big family, I would say, give me an extra bed, and I don't want a musical instrument in our flat. Was it just the memory of your grandfather which made your father to make some space and put a piano or a keyboard in the flat?
I believe it was my father's dream to guide his kids to have a better future than he has.
So, if I ask you, who was the person who said, Tomáš has a talent worth working on? It was your father?
He actually never said it, but he proved it. Like he he was doing the action. He was there for me all the time. He was supporting me all the time. As far as his way of support wasn't like he wasn't expressing it with his words, but he was always reminding me, you gotta go practice, you gotta do this, you gotta listen to the music, listen, always, try to teach me the consistency.
When did you start with the piano?
I believe I was 5 years old.
And it was with a little help from your father and nothing else?
Exactly.
So you are a typical self-made man, as far as piano beginnings are concerned, right?
Yes.
Your brothers and sisters can sing and dance and play music as well. Why do you think it is you, Tomáš, who became a famous musician, not them?
I don't think it has something to do with talent, to be honest, because all of my brothers and sisters are talented in the way, and I believe every person has some sort of talent. It's mostly about the faith and the power of a need to change something in your life, and so I believe I was strong enough, and my dream was big enough to make something different than whatever was going on in my family at the time. And of course, along all this hard work and consistency and work ethic and being just focused on whatever you do, comes luck. You gotta get luck. There's something which you can't really practice, which you can't really buy, and that's just something between it's in the sky. You gotta get it from the God or whatever you call it.
Did you ever experience moments when you were fed up with all that practice and you had an inclination to give it up and go and enjoy the life, go to a bar or to play something and forget the piano?
Of course, I had it many times, and I think those moments are very important in the journey, in your life journey, and I believe those moments happens for a reason, and it's kind of, you go down but then you're up again, you gotta count your blessings.
What was it, or who was it, who convinced you that you should go on? Was it you? Was it your father? Somebody else?
It happened many times throughout my career, and sometimes it still happens, as well. You just you're about to give up everything. It's like, oh man, why am I doing it? I'm not even good enough, And so those kind of little doubts here and there, they try to attack you, And it's every time it's somebody or something different what kind of gives you the hope, or gives you a little pinch to kind of wake up and keep going, It can be just a piece of music, new piece of music you listen to. You discover a new classical piece by Dvořák or by Jacob Collier, and it just inspires you so much to just wake up and keep going.
In due time, you changed your bedroom keyboard education for the conservatory in Ostrava, then the Academy of Music in Prague, and then the famous Berklee College of Music in Boston. How did you support yourself? Living is expensive, especially in the States.
Yeah, so I got lucky enough that after I got accepted to Berklee, I got a partial scholarship from the school, and also one of my professors at the Prague Academy, Mrs. Zarubova, Noemi Zarubova, she helped me to reach out to different foundations here in the Czech Republic and try to audition for a scholarship from the different foundations. And luckily I was able to get the 3 major foundations who were supporting me at my studies at Berklee.
This is Faces of Czech Music, and my guest is the pianist and composer Tomáš Kačo. Tomáš, when did you realize that you want to be a professional musician?
I believe it was about when I got accepted to the conservatory. That was kind of I knew once I got accepted, it boosted my confidence.
And you wanted to be a solo musician from the beginning, or would you accept a place in an orchestra?
I wasn't sure exactly what I exactly want to be at the time, because I was kind of getting introduced to the classical world, classical music, and kind of I didn't know exactly how you could make what is the best way to make a living out of either playing solo or playing with orchestra. Or there's not actually many things you can do as a trained classical pianist. You can either gotta be great, you gotta be the best, and to play solo, or to play with orchestra you gotta be best as well, or you can play in an ensemble, or you can accompany somebody, or you can teach, right? There's only a couple of choices you can do. So I wasn't sure which way I will go.
How old were you when you went to the States?
I was about 28. I already had a master degree, yeah.
And how did you feel there? Were teachers and fellow students friendly to you?
Oh yeah, they were very friendly. Of course, I had a culture shock the first couple months. Everything was different. I've never been to the US before. And just to, getting in touch with so many different cultures around, and to experience this feeling. There were like people from all over the world, like literally all over the world. And it just made me feel, safe. For some reason, safe. Nobody was judging me. Nobody was, judging me by my heritage, or by my nationality, or the way I look. It was really great experience.
The Berklee College of Music provided you with a very good musical education, but also with a wife, right?
Oh yeah. I met my wife at Berklee in the second year of my studies, and
so you studied together?
Yes, actually we were together in one class. That's how we met, in the class. So she was studying there singing, songwriting, and yeah, that's how we met. We started to collaborate together, and then
we should probably say that your wife is Korean American, right?
Yes, American Korean. Yeah.
American Korean. Sorry.
Korean. No, that's right. Yeah.
And do you have perhaps similar taste in music, you and your wife?
In the way it's similar, but it's very different. It's very different.
Similar and different?
Yeah, in some way it's kind of similar, but she is very very good around it in the pop culture, in the pop music, which I wasn't. When I came to Berklee, I wasn't that well around it, and I'm getting better because of that, and vice versa, meaning I'm more well rounded in classical or like jazz music. So she learned from me about all the stories about the classical musicians, whatever I learned here in the.
I said at the beginning that you are a pianist, but also a composer. Does your wife listen to your compositions?
All the time. She's always my first.
What does she say?
She tells me what she thinks.
So she can be critical.
Oh yeah, she can. Yeah, she has to be.
Does it help?
Yeah. Sometimes I always take into consideration whatever she says. And and many times it already happened that I changed whatever she said she doesn't like.
Can you do something in reward? I mean, if she's critical to you, can you criticize her work?
Oh yeah. She always asks me, but mostly if we do something, we collaborate together. We've done already a couple songs together, which are released, and it's fun.
To have it all complete, you also have 2 kids, am I right?
Yes, that's right.
But they are too small to listen to classical music.
They listen to classical music because anytime I drive them to school, and all the time in my car I have only classical radio on, so they are kind of forced to listen to classical music. unless they they are very great. Both of them are great musicians already. You can, even though they are very young, but especially my son, he's 5, but when he was actually year and a half, I already could tell that he has perfect pitch.
So you think he'll follow your career?
Well,
and your wife's?
Yeah, it's very interesting to see it in your kids. I would never force him to do music, or like probably didn't even want him to do music, because I know how hard the route is. But at his age now, I can see how talented he is. Like he's like literally genius. Like I'm pretty sure I wasn't like that at his age. He uses his voice all the time. He sings all the time. He doesn't play piano. He doesn't really like to go to piano and play. But he, since just all day, he just sings.
If I make a wild guess and say you are now repaying to your son what your father provided to you, am I wrong?
I guess you're right. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
You had, or you have, 11 brothers and sisters. Would you like to have as large a family as you had when you were growing up?
No. I'm fine just with 2 kids. I think it's more than enough.
But your wife knows that you have 11 brothers and sisters?
Yeah, she does. Of course.
This is Faces of Czech Music, and my guest is a pianist and composer Tomáš Kačo. You have achieved quite a lot in your life. Do you see young people here in Czechia following you?
Yes, there's a couple examples already. They've been reaching out to me, and not only musicians, surprisingly, even just sometimes just generally people who are trying to apply to study in the US, and they're just trying to connect with me, and get some feedback, get some feedback from my experience, and asking me what should I do, and where should I search for some sponsors or foundations, etc., etc. So it's nice to see people knowing my my journey and my story, and then trying to get inspired. And it's easy nowadays to get in touch with somebody you look up to.
You see young promising musicians in Nový Jičín as well?
Well, in Nový Jičín, I don't know. It's been a while since I've been in Nový Jičín, and
if you come to Czechia, you don't visit?
When I come to Czechia, it's mostly for work, and so my time is very limited, and it's my schedule is pretty tight.
But your family still lives in Nový Jičín, right?
Yes, and it's from Prague. It's like good 4 hours drive, so it's not close enough.
We are speaking today in early June, and you will stay for the summer concert tour. Are you looking forward to Czech and Moravian audiences?
Yeah. I love Czech Republic. I love just the history, and just the scenery. It's just so beautiful. It's so beautiful, and yeah, I'm excited to be playing my new program.
Speaking about audiences, are music fans different here than in Los Angeles?
I think it's same. It's same as far as because I believe in that music is really a universal language, and what counts is the emotion you are trying to kind of transfer to the people, not the notes or the style of music. So it can be a pop song with 2 chords, or it can be Rachmaninoff with 2,000 notes, or it can be jazz standard or whatever, But if you really play it from your heart, and if you share your emotions, then I believe the people feel it,
Do you have a favorite place to perform at in Czechia?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I enjoyed a lot to play in the Rudolfinum. that was one of the dreams as well since when I was studying here. But yeah, Rudolf is beautiful.
The American pianist Keith Jarrett is your favorite, or one of your favorites. What do you appreciate about him?
Oh, Keith Jarrett is first time when I discovered his music. It took me a good year or two to understand his music. So my first kind of jazz idol was Oscar Peterson, and then there was kind of my level of like, okay, so that's what jazz means, right? And later on I got introduced to like Michel Petrucciani, like as far as the pianist Herbie Hancock, and then Keith Jarrett came on the list, and I was like, oh, why is he so famous? Why people like him? Like it's like he plays one chord for 20 minutes. It's so boring, So it was just a matter of time, because I just proved to myself that you really need to grow into it. You need your time. And then for some reason, I just was after literally 2 years, I just fell in love with his music, and I just finally understood what was going on there. And what I love about it right now, it's just his classical touch. His touch is just his appreciation of classical music, and being able to transfer the culture of classical music to his improvisations.
Jarrett, if I'm right, played and recorded with other musicians. Do you have colleagues you like to play with in the United States?
I prefer to play solo. I was never more like a team player, or I just probably never met the right people to build something. Although I'm a music director in LA in one church, and where I built a band, and I'm playing with the band, and I actually enjoy playing with the band.
Speaking about all your activities, you also teach, don't you?
Yes, but I have literally just 3 students, because I just don't have enough time for that.
Do you consider yourself an American or a Czech musician?
Definitely not American. More like I will say Czech. If we have to say that, I will say Czech. Yeah.
But you have been living in Los Angeles for such a long time.
Yeah, but it doesn't make me American,
Why?
Why? Because I think my heart is still here.
Is it because of the competition there?
No, it doesn't have to do anything with the competition, but I think I'm still gonna be, I spent most of my life here in the Czech Republic, so...
So you would say that your bond to the Czech Republic is very strong?
Yes, it is.
And do you have colleagues you would like to play with here in Czechia?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would love to play with the conductor Jakub Hruša. Yeah, I would love to meet with him in the setup, in the orchestral setup. That'll be fun.
Well, there are plans to speak about. Tomáš Kačo, thank you for coming in today. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure was all mine.
Faces of Czech Music is a Radio Prague International and Czech Center's podcast. Thank you and goodbye. And the music you heard sampled today was Stronger Than Yesterday, composed and performed by Tomáš Kačo.